Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So this is the Crypto Weekly Analysis Volume 20, giving you this insight of what we're thinking for next week and comparing our analysis from last week. So we've had quite an interesting week in the crypto world. Pretty much we've had a bit of a bullish pressure kick in. So what we mentioned last week, we had these two levels or two zones that we were going to expect, and the upside level scenario is playing out. So now that we've broken this upside, we can get rid of this downside move. So what I'm thinking here is that we could have this possibility of price turning over, and I'm still adamant about this, that we could have that turnover. I think that there is going to be this drop still in the market, and to be honest, I will be still saying that there's going to be a drop until we break this high here. So as I was saying before, in terms of the psychology of the trading point is that I'm not going to put any money, or I'm not going to look at any buying positions if the market is expensive. So for me, this is actually quite expensive for now. We're pretty much very close to breaking the high. I would rather see price drop a bit lower for me before I even consider taking a buy. Okay. So yeah, now that we've seen price possibly push up higher and higher, we just need to see if we can now drop off in the market. So if we take a look at the divergence, can we see anything at all? So we can see that from this point onwards, we're starting to see some deep divergence there. So again, it's only just these last couple of candles, but ultimately, if you were to compare it from here, there is a very, very slight divergence there. So there is a little bit of a dip, but it's nothing very obvious for now. So again, it really just needs to kind of clear up. It needs to just be a bit more obvious. So what I'm thinking is that price is probably going to dip just a bit lower, probably push up once more, and then we'll start to see what's really going to happen in this market. So again, this is going to have a ripple effect with the other pairs. So let's just take a look now into the other coins. So we've got Ripple. So for this, what I was looking at is two scenarios. We'll either get price to break the upside high and then rally to the downside, or we'll have price to continue to push up higher and break the recent high, which is at this red zone here. I know I've got a lot of stuff here. Let me make this a bit cleaner. And then in that case, if we get that rally, I think Bitcoin should be able to push a lot higher. Bitcoin should push higher, possibly break the high. So I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. But yeah, let's just take a look now at the second scenario. So the other scenario is that we'll get a drop off in the market, and we won't break this high that we have at $1.40. We can see prices pushing quite high still, and we could start to see some turnaround. So we're still kind of moving sideways, but I'm quite happy that still to take a sell. To expect price to drop off and possibly enter the 50 cents region. So that's obviously only going to happen if Bitcoin drops off as well. But yeah, that's pretty much where I stand with this. So let's take a look at Cadano. So Cadano, again, we're still kind of expecting price to possibly make one more push up, but ultimately we're still expecting price to make its way to the downside into the $1 region. So price has pretty much been consolidating here. Nothing too special that's happened for this pair, but again, those two scenarios still stand, that we'll either get a drop off or we'll get price to push up and then drop off. So they're the two things that I'm kind of expecting for Cadano. Litecoin, we're seeing a bit of a rally towards the upside. Again, this possibly could be in the works because of Bitcoin pushing up higher. But essentially I'm still thinking that price is going to drop off here. Again, there is a possibility of price breaking this high. I won't actually draw it in, but pretty much there is a possibility. Let me just take a look at the fib for a second. Yeah, we should be okay. But yeah, we're kind of expecting this high to hold, and if it can, we could expect price to drop lower. So that's pretty much where I stand with that. Ethereum does have the possibility to break higher. That's one scenario that I've pinpointed. The second scenario is that we'll get the drop off and this high holds. And again, similar with Bitcoin, is that I'm not going to be looking at any buying opportunities. Any buying opportunities whilst price is expensive. So for me, the perfect buying point would be around this low here. But if we break this high, then we'll have to consider some more bullish and aggressive options. Again, that's up to you guys, and we'll continue to provide that those options and give you some scenarios. But yeah, for now, there is a possibility that price could break the high and then drop off. But most likely, I'm expecting price to drop off still into the 17k region. So we'll see if this high will actually hold, because we are actually getting quite close to it, to be honest. But yeah, moving on now to Dogecoin. So yeah, Dogecoin, there again, price has pretty much been pushing up. So what we could see, we could expect price to break the high and then drop low. So I might as well draw that in. Move this to the side. So there is a possibility where price, makes its way up to the upside and then drops off to the downside. So that's something that you could keep an eye out for. Again, the other scenario is that price just continues to rise, but I'm not really that keen on that idea just yet. For now, I'm thinking that price is not really that aggressive right now. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. But they're pretty much, these two scenarios are most likely to play out for this week, I think. So yeah, expecting price to possibly break up over the 35 cents, and then we could have a turnaround to the downside, in which we look for price to possibly push it a lot higher. And finally, EGLD. Again, we are looking, it looks like price has just been pushing up higher. Again, it's really going to be the deciding factor. Are we going to break the high, or are we going to possibly make one more low? And that's the first scenario that we drew from last week. The second scenario that we drew was that price is going to possibly break the high, but we are expecting price to at least break the low before possibly pushing up higher. And yeah, essentially that's what I'm looking into for now. And just as a general recap, we're expecting price to, break this high, and then we're going to be inspecting, are we going to see a rally, or are we going to see a massive correction, in the sense where we drop off to around the $50, or around, within this range from $50 to the new high. So again, it really is about waiting for now. There's no real point about guessing where we're going to be. Probably the best focus is to just understand where we are with price action right now, and it's most likely that I'm looking at price to drop lower for now, but again, it could also still push up higher, but I'm leaning more towards a sell-off option here. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the up and coming week. But yeah, it has been quite interesting with Bitcoin pushing up higher. It has had a little bit of an effect on the other coins. Hope you guys can see that too. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that big bearish move to occur with Bitcoin, and we'll see what happens again. But yeah, guys, if you did made it all the way to the end of the video, I do appreciate your time for listening. We do have a trading group that you can join. Link is in the description. However, that is only for Forex. But yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, guys. So thank you very much for listening all, and we'll see you all in our next week's video.